won't school and Chinanka on Sinoye, no more shower, no one Nanka so I bear burden to you. No, we can't run the country like that. I'm saying all of this because I want you to look back, think deep, think about what has happened since 2021 to date. There's something in economics we call misery, misery, and there's an index how to measure misery. We call it misery index. It's very common in the United States. So you measure the standard of living. You can Google it and check it out. You measure the standard of living at any point in time in a country. Now in Zama, Oko drew the misery for you to know how much in the country. In Zamani being in the bucket inflation. Inflation when we were leaving office in 2017, it was 15.7. It rose all the way to 54%. Now declining, but at what rate? Still double digit, over 20%. Now, number 2, lending rate. Equal bank never put your bossa or your hen. Equal bank never put your bossa or your hen. Now, high street banks on your microfinance or high street banks on your Susuro, on your commercial bank, on your rural bank, because you know now, you will struggle to get it at 48%. Now, I've been business and I don't know about it. No, 48%. Profit employing, no, go to your interest, don't go to 48%. Where interest rate has gotten to? Unemployment is part of the index. It's not going to the index anymore. It is galloping. In the Canina Buma, no, in 1983. Now, yes, again, and I remember in Parliament one day I said that I want you to know India today, no, or your words are 1983. People didn't understand. I said, yes, what I'm telling you is the truth. Because in 1983, when we measured the misery index then was 33 point something. Today, the misery index is over 42%. I want you now, Kosur. Ghanaians were surviving. Yamintra, they were just lucky. It's a withdrawal system. No one on Yamutraba. I was in Kumasi last week. Mr. Levi offended Kaduma Moko Hotel at the petrol station. If you didn't mention, will be some of the Mr. Nima also we are home with you. I can't speak, so forgive me. I'm translating. And now, what's it? Offended. As I work, but the canon so now when I 1 year to man put the 1 year then. On your one fault because prices of goods and services and all cost. Meanwhile, inflation in them 54%. We salary increasing no your hand. No your hand. So if inflation is 54% and you give me salary increase of 10%, then it means I am worse off by 44%. The purchasing power parity, I'm worse off by 44%. It means make salary absolute by 44%. Simple. That's what it means. It means that I want to know about cost. I'm worse off. And it has been consistent since 2021 to date. And let me tell you this. I was doing some work for a friend. You're not. I remember when they're not chairman. You know what has happened to you, Nat? Once you can what did you know what I Provident Fund. Do you know what has happened to your money? You don't know what has happened to your money. Let me tell you what has happened to your money. Munsikan Kawai. Munsikana or you're not full Munsikana. A pensioner was the Bama. You know what has happened? You start reading. There's something called double whammy. Problems are the same here. First of all, as of December 2021, and the value of your money in cedis. Time now the cedis in 6 cedis to $1. It was 100 million $103 million. So city equivalent, it was 600 and something million. 600 and if 103 equals to 6, what would be the city equivalent? Do the math. So I think it was about 610 billion cedis. Back of the envelope calculation, about 610 billion cedis. Now, 610 billion cedis, no equivalent at the time was $100 million. Overnight, cedi depreciated from 6 cedis to 1 to 15 overnight. Then your cedi, what currency now, your provident fund, or reduce to about 40 something million dollars. You've lost about 60% of your money overnight. This is your money. Provident fund. The city depreciated. In the city no depreciating, no equivalent, this is what has happened to you. Then provident fund is coming to what they are. What the factor investment. And your own investment that what you contribute. By your own bylaws, also one to government bonds. In the way this is your provident fund and for pension and what you call government bonds. Then overnight, I buy to be they know what happened. And also what's for more haircut. Haircut, and also for more punk when you're young, more busy. Straight. You lost about 40% of your money. Then the Sikana and 60% token, 40% also. Boom. Then the future cash flows, which is the interest now, even over the to recover and also future cash flows now, but recover also reducing by 30%. So, what's the Sikana? Inquire there in approximately 100, assuming the watcher will be about $100. Now you are getting like $30. You will not see this physically because in your pensioner yet. But I am pensioner, when I work, I come on pension. I want to feel it immediately. When I was young ones now, and I want to pension 20, 30 years time, maybe we want to recover. But some of you going to pension immediately in the next 5 years. This is what has happened to you. When you go to pension and you expect to see this kind of bar, and then with the one or your mega, don't blame that. No one fault. Or your government policies. I said, I'm giving you simple examples, but I cannot show you. Our country, the direction of our country is in a bad way. Maybe I got a record. Oh, you? I'm not mincing words. And I'm telling you because I'm a front run politician. I'm a front runner. And it's work all the time. And I see these things. I come to my constituency. I see stuff. What is going on? That this democracy is failing. But you see, there's something we always get it wrong. In Africa, we don't punish people when they make mistakes. When you teach people, say it's school classroom now one. You survive because of discipline. Teacher, whose strength is for you to discipline your student. It is a EB or you know of the classroom around 8 o'clock. Then they be able to 9. They be there 9. Then come to 8. Let's say what banana cafe now was slower. The next day, you pack on 9. I did another one then to 19. Before I realize the classroom in I went to 19. Because you are rewarded in discipline. And the reward in discipline will be a little. Now, if Ghana put your kotu back, now man with that suminado, now what to about my body build from disturbing our livelihood and destroying Ghana. There's also control on viewer. It serves to represent the two major segments. One, politicians will take us for a ride. Politicians will take us for a ride in the sense that we can feel it there. Abanara meko akoto man go for iya kono pa oboto amo. Ya be bi oboto amo. Why do I go extra mile? Please hold them accountable. In the same way, some of us, yet the end life is now to what they will fight for Ghana. Because at the point I felt that just like somebody somewhere, our forefathers, the big sis and others fought for us, the mantle fell on some of us. And we felt that we should fight for Ghana. After seeing all what is happening, and we knew that it is wrong, but we have to fight. And we fought, and we've been fighting. And the last 4 years, if there's anyone who has fought this government into money pay being every meeting, I have fought and I believe that I have defeated them. Because in Kayemu in Kanzama Sebra. But the truth is, after all of this fight, now Ghana who was also with the yard, you get no one to fight for you again. Me, I won't fight again. And whoever takes over from me will say that Ghana for the it's one's wrong. And the government will have a field day, and they will misbehave even more, and the democracy will fail about time and a winner. So here, that I mean, hold politicians accountable. Hold politicians accountable. You are teachers. You are intellectuals in the society. Some people misery that inflation it will take me about 1 day to explain. But I can disseminate this to you in a minute, and you understand. You find a nice way to break it down for others to understand. But me better what I said. Say a mistake. Let's say even if we lose honorable power, it will not be punishment. It should be in such a way, even within MPP, they will go for a congress and say that, let's sit down and think again. They themselves will say that something has gone wrong. And tomorrow, when they get a chance again, they will not make that mistake again. I mean, they believe it. That, for me, it should happen. And it must happen. It must happen for Ghana, it must happen for Ghanaians, it must happen to protect our democracy. That for me, my husband. So when, sir, if it doesn't happen, I am afraid, but politicians will take the people of Ghana for granted. And if you advance democracy, we succeed in the whole politicians accountable. Because you see, the vote to be to become president. That's a handover Ghana in our democracy. The president is an elected dictator. That's how I call them. But power is in our nature. Maybe our constitution will have to amend it. Because you see, what Ghana power is in now, I call the president of Ghana, President Wabesi now as elected dictators. Because the constitution, what the power is in now, so you one person. Our point to Piala for you. Are you accountable for everything? My view, the time has come for us to hold any government accountable. When President Mahama was in office and there was doom so, you voted against him. Even though he was the one who was fixing the doom so, because the doom so was an accumulated problem from successive government. But he took the responsibility. Yet he paid the price for it. Now the way seen doom so equivalent the way to work to Ghana for the last 4 years. Please, for me, I'm not here to tell you about the policies we are going to do for teachers. Others will speak about it. But the reason why I'm saying this is that the fundamentals, the foundation of our democracy, the basics for Ghana's success, only accountability. Politicians must be accountable to the people. But some member one China may never cast a pet, not a meeting because some crowd never bala and a casala, that's a bit my yada, no, but to our order. No, we'll be able to basis here. Please. So, in the meeting here, I'm pleading with you. I've been everywhere in Ghana. Obviously, because of my unique role as the leader of the opposition in Parliament. I have to be everywhere, and I've been preaching this message. There are times NPP MPs, because I've been in Parliament for 16 years, a lot of them are my friends, even ministers. If the running mate was my colleague who went to Parliament together, is my friend, all of them. And some of them calls me in the night and say that the truth is we have messed up. They agree, they themselves, they know they've messed up. They are aware. They know that Onkoyi. A part of Ajumako Enyan Essiam MPP executives na even Brown was due to Onkoyi. Yesterday, their former constituency chairman, where defect from MPP to NDC, was in the support of bill because he thinks where they are taking the country, he doesn't want to support it. If we can't afford a bread. And some of us are here politicians, are your villages in one day I have to fetch one or two of you to follow me. And you go to the villages. You call it been the babies and not a da. We are mission. You will be them that will be the pan. As to you. In fact, it's even worse in the cities. Urban poor is worse than rural poor. Until them started campaigning, Yamukoko, Accra, they said that Nipina, Kumasi, so we say, hey, you are better off. I'm telling you, it's tough. Life is tough. You will not appreciate it until you go down. Sometimes, you answer, you are better off. Things are not good for this country. I think a vote for this against this government is a must. It's a must, and we have to make it loud. The next government, if it's my government, I should know that when NPP did similar, Ghanaians punished them, and so I should be able to convince myself. I should. And in the same way, if one person in my government is crashing all of us, I should be able to speak out against that person. To say that Master Wusuban, you crash all of us. That's how advanced democracies behave. Democracy. That is one of the attributes of a good democracy. Take Europe and America and idea, or people who were rebels. Government in the policy people know, they are their own government. They speak against it. Ghana had one way you pass them to you. Sometimes I take a matter and I'm fighting it. I fight the man. It would be feared when MPP people after that. So I didn't know for the point now. Yeah, support for the year to Mikasa. Send to Mikasa day. One let you to that day. Don't come when they hear that young boy. Also, no, Mikasa when you. They know it is bad, but they can't speak. That's how Ghana politics, unfortunately, this is how it has been designed. Some of the policies, I don't want to mention names, but some of them even comes as far as coming to my house to cheer me on. Support to sometimes you are taking a strong debate, fighting. Nobody will send you note that you will free. You understand? You understand? And it's not that they support what their government is doing, but you know, and if you allow these things to continue, please, and that's why I'm speaking to you, teachers. And see, for this country to succeed, we need to hold politicians accountable. Let me more examples. Last month, there was an election in a country called Mauritius. One called economic crisis, but their government is mismanaging the affairs of the people. Poor governance. And the country, why won't go through? Why some small island in Mauritius or South Africa, so they are largely Indians, so they are in Africa. Indians also. And they were very angry what point into elections, you know what happens? The leader of government is the prime minister. We use the prime minister system. We vote against everybody. Certain government, you don't want MPs. One. When you have one seat in government, prime minister allow only the seat. Everybody was wiped out. Then opposition took over. After emergency Congress, then we now want Congress. Now one Congress. The corner, what you know what the woman say in the history of the world, the being see that the Obiane lose the DPR complete. Anger. Now, the new party or the new government, are you sure they will do the same? They won't. No matter what, they will not do the same. And I'll give you another example. There's a country called Sri Lanka. Those of you who are aware of Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia. Sri Lanka, recent one situation into the Ghana. The president appointed his brother as finance minister, his sister as road minister, his cousin this, his nepotism. Now while run a country in a ground completely, inflation went just like Ghana. They defaulted in the payment of their debt. Sri Lanka. Then opposition were working for the people, they were not fighting for the people. They went to bed with the government. Because government was this kind of movie. So when now when you know what happened? The citizens rose up. Were pro-opposition, were pro-abiding for Queen, were palm president. Then the Speaker of Parliament per their constitution was military. Then the Speaker of Parliament has to act until an election. And acted for 1 year. After the elections, the opposition lost woefully. The sitting government lost woefully. And Obia, no visa, only government emerged as the new president. Only MP Group of Parliament, somebody new emerged. Because they said that the opposition failed and the government has failed. So we now move on. Going forward, do you think opposition will also sit quiet? Do you think the government will also misbehave again? No. That is the attribute of Kenya in a democracy. You see, you can answer they voted against the Conservative Party as if there was no tomorrow. We'll lose if they we'll wipe one out. The immediate past Prime Minister is close on in the state. When now we vote against all of them massively. So one of the attributes of a democracy is accountability. And yet the man democracy succeed. I'm pleading with you. You are the elite in this constituency. And when Wakawana, Wako schooler, where you informed that, who read that, what better is you. And don't be swayed. If it's for nothing at all, let's hold this government accountable. If it's for nothing at all, it is not about may I want to support NDC. If NDC is misbehaving, it doesn't matter. Or may I support MPP? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't be. Another may fancy party. I come from Central Region. As for us here, there's a Sanda Adechefari. I remember when I was becoming an MP first in the Central Region, NBC MP2. The next election, you got to be in